From a completely edible water bottle to a tasty superfood snack, here are 10 accidental inventions that changed the world. Number 10. Potato chips. Before the potato chip, thinly sliced potatoes were boiled in their jackets for hours on end. This was not only tedious, but also led to the food spoiling. Before it was even finished cooking, then one day a chef at a popular resort became fed up with his stubborn spuds and sliced them paper thin instead of boiling them. He then fried these slices until they were crispy and crunchy and sprinkled them with salt. The chips were a hit with guests who clamored for more. And so, the snack that would take America by storm had been invented accidentally. Although there's some debate over who exactly invented the first batch of chips, we can all thank George Crumb for perfecting this culinary accident. No! 9. Corn Flakes. Like many other breakfast cereals, Corn Flakes started out as a health food. But unlike most cereals, it wasn't exactly the creation of an expert nutritionist or scientist. In 1894, a Seventh-day Adventist minister named John Harvey, Kellogg set out to create a healthy, bland breakfast option for the patients at his sanitarium. He purchased a grain mill and began experimenting, soaking wheat berries in a solution of alkali and then letting them spontaneously ferment. Once he felt the mixture was ready, he dried it out and ground it into flakes. The resulting product was far from delicious, though it took on a disgusting, soapy taste and smell, and no one would eat it. So he brought out the big guns, adding sugar, fruit juice, and salt to disguise the bad flavor. While his experiment was successful in its new form, the real reason for its success may have been that people simply were unused to eating sweet breakfast foods at the time. Either way, he shared his recipe with his brother, who founded the Sanitas Food Company in 1906 and sold it under the name Corn Flakes. By 1915, the cereal had become a massive hit, selling over 1 million boxers in a single year. Number 8. Sliced bread. If you're tired of shelling out money for expensive bread only to come home and realize you need to slice it yourself, you can blame this invention on an absent-minded engineer named Otto Frederick. Throughout his life, Rothweider had a habit of losing things, which likely contributed to his strange habit of putting his valuables in his bread bag. One fateful day in 1928, he pulled out his revolver from his bread bag to find that the cylinder was full of bread. Realizing what had happened, he took the gun to a local machine shop where he began tinkering. After weeks of work, he had created a device that could automatically slice bread. Though he struggled to secure patents for his invention, eventually a local bakery tested the machine and saw its potential. Soon after, Wonder Bread bought out his patent and installed 100 slicers in their factories across the country. Number 7! Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was a professor of physics whose life's work was dedicated to studying fluorescent materials. One day, while working in his lab, he placed a screen near his cathode ray tube apparatus, when suddenly the screen lit up. Having no idea why this happened, he turned off the main device and continued his experiment. To his surprise, the screen continued to glow. Finally, he realized that the rays must have been produced by the interaction between the cathode rays and the glass in the screen. Wanting to learn more, he grabbed a nearby book to use as a shield. But once he placed it in front of the screen, he noticed a strange image had appeared on the page. Realizing he had just invented the X-ray, he immediately rushed to get a better look at his discovery, bringing a hand in front of the book to see a negative image of his bones appear on the page. Number 6! Penicillin. In 1928, Scottish physician Alexander Fleming returned from a vacation to find that one of his Petri dishes had become contaminated with mold. At first, he thought nothing of it and threw it out. But upon further inspection, he noticed that the mold had created a clear zone around itself, indicating that it was killing off the bacteria. Upon closer inspection, he identified the mold as Penicillium notatum and the antibacterial chemical as penicillin. Although this discovery saved countless lives, it would take another 10 years to develop a large enough quantity of the drug to effectively treat patients. Number 5. Post-it notes. In 1968, an American chemist named Spencer Silver was trying to create a super strong adhesive for the Air Force. What he ended up creating was a very weak adhesive that did unstick to anything for more than a few days. Filing this under failed experiments, he essentially forgot about his discovery until 2 years later, when he was faced with a sticky situation He needed to attach a note to a page in his lab notebook, but he didn't have any tape. Remembering his failed experiment, he pulled out the old bottle of weak glue and applied a bit to 2 pieces of paper. Voila! He had just invented the post-it note. Although he initially struggled to find a market for his invention, 3M executives eventually caught wind of it and incorporated it into their line of products. Number 4. Superglue. Another example of a substance that was meant for something else being used for something completely different is superglue. In 1942, a chemist named Harry Coover was attempting to create a plastic for use in gun sights. Instead, he accidentally invented a super strong adhesive. At first, no one saw much use for this invention, but during the war, Coover worked with Eastman Kodak to create a transparent version that could be used to mount lenses onto camera parts. After the war, he realized that the glue could be used for a variety of household items and quickly patented his discovery. No! 3. Teflon. In the early 1930s, American manufacturer Roy Plunkett was trying to create a new type of refrigerant when he stumbled upon a strange white substance. Upon further investigation, he realized that he had just created a synthetic version of Teflon, a compound that has a wide range of uses, but the man who made the discovery wouldn't be the one to benefit from it. You see, Plunkett suffered from schizophrenia and spent much of his career in and out of mental hospitals. During this time, his colleagues at the company filed several patents for his discovery without giving him credit. Though he never received much recognition in his lifetime, in 1978, the American Chemical Society awarded him their Charles Medal for his discovery. No. 2. Cocoa Puffs. When General Foods introduced Cocoa Pebbles to the public in 1961, they had no idea how popular the cereal would become. But not everyone was a fan. Many parents complained that their children could unfinish a bowl of Pebbles due to their rough edges and sharp corners. Thinking quickly, General Foods decided to round the corners of the cereal and reintroduced it to the public under the name Cocoa Puffs. Not only was this change welcomed by parents, but kids loved the new shapes as well. In fact, they became so popular that Cocoa Puffs soon outsold Cocoa Pebbles 2-1. Number 1. Microwave oven. In 1945, a group of engineers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology were working on a radar system for the military. They needed to quickly heat up the food for the soldiers. So they placed some leftovers in front of the radar equipment to see if it would cook them. Sure enough, the food was heated up in a matter of seconds, but it was inedible and covered in sparks. Not wanting to waste a good meal, one of the engineers took the food home and put it in his wife's refrigerator too. Cool! The next day, he took the food out of the fridge, removed the sparks, and much to his surprise, it tasted delicious. He showed his discovery to his colleagues, and soon enough, the microwave oven was born. Although these inventors accidentally changed the world, sometimes even the best-laid plans can go awry. Watch this video to find out what went wrong when NASA tried to make a peanut butter cup, or click this other video instead.